Anytime someone asks me what my book is about, my brain freezes, and the only thing I can think to say is it's a mystery. Yes, it's a mystery to me because I've been writing the goddamn thing for 7 years and I still don't know what it's about. Let's first try to hammer down a genre, shall we? Romance, dark romance, paranormal romance, horror. I'm gonna go with dark paranormal romance. But a romance has to have a happy ending, doesn't it? Or happily, for now, at least. Does my book have a happy ending? I don't know, does it? You tell me. So if the main character kills the female main character, brings her back to life, but she's like a different person, but if she's still a person that he once liked, is that a happy ending? He's not exactly happy to see her. Let me explain. So he kills her because she's already been drained of most of her blood. Like, she's gonna die in minutes. Basically, his mother, who is, she's not exactly a witch, but I lead you to think she's a witch during the first book, but she does use black magic. She wants to harvest Willa, the main character's blood, because Willa, so Raiden kills Willa at the end of the first book, the final climax, but she's already gonna die. She's lost a lot of her blood. Basically, Raiden's mother and her cult, whatever supernatural species they are, they have no psychic abilities themselves because the majority of them don't have souls. Although Raiden is like an anomaly. He does have a soul. So anyways, since they don't have souls, they lack psychic abilities. So they want psychic abilities, and they can gain the ability to perform basically black magic with these psychic abilities. They need to drain the blood from Pleiadian star seeds, from angelic beings from higher dimensions who have incarnated on Earth as humans. They need to consume the blood of them in order to have psychic abilities that they can basically use as black magic, but it's not exactly black magic. So, Hillary, Raiden's mom, kidnaps Willa, drains her of the majority of her blood, and Hillary tells Raiden, you have to kill her, then you bring her back to life. And thus, by doing it, he is engaging in a ritual in which he is joining his mother's cult, which is what his mother has always wanted. It's redemption. Raiden freed Janet, the original angel from the first book, the very beginning of the first book. He freed her. And he told his dad what happened. His mom killed his dad because his dad knew. His mom went to jail. His mother got out of jail. She returned. And she had purchased Willa a long time ago, when Willa was only 2 years old. She purchased Willa for Raiden. So not only do they drain their blood and consume their blood in order to gain the angelic starseed Pleiadian's psychic abilities, but when they do so, they can also, like, they rid the soul from the body, and then the body is like, it becomes a vessel for like a slave girl. Like, it'll do and think whatever they program it to. It's like an NPC. They get rid of the soul. They put the soul in a prison dimension. Right? It's a little complicated. Maybe. Just a little bit. So Raiden brings Willa back to life. He engages in the ritual. He dies himself. He digs himself out of a grave. He comes back. He does what he has to do to bring Willa back to life. But instead of Willa, it's Mina. Her name is Wilhelmina. And originally she was one person. But after she got R-worded and then had an overdose and died at her own hands, so since she didn't die with the tip of a blessed blade, she died at her own hands, but she was brought back to life by Gerald. Now, Gerald is Raiden's grandpa, but it's a secret that he's his grandpa. Gerald is the leader of the cult. They want Raiden to be the new leader of the cult now that Raiden's an adult. But in the past, when Willa overdosed, Gerald was the leader at that time. He brought Willa back to life. But since she did not die by the tip of a blessed blade, since she was R-worded, and when you get like a traumatizing experience like that happens to you, part of your soul can detach from your body and flee in order to survive, in order to like avoid the traumatization. So Wilhelmina does not have dissociative personality disorder. She doesn't have multiple personalities living in the same body. When she met Raiden in 2007, she lied about her age, and she somewhat lied about her name. She went by Willa. Everyone knew her as Willa. She went by Mina because Raiden knew her sister, and she didn't want Raiden to recognize the name somehow and know that she's a 13-year-old child messing around with a 17-year-old boy. So she called herself Mina, and she said she was like 15, almost 16. So when she died, and she was crazy, let me just say that, like, she like lit this one church on fire. She obviously was trying to mess around with an older boy. She smoked a lot of weed. She had a hit list. She posted some questionable videos online. Like, like who else do we know that does that? So when she died of the overdose, after she was R-worded, R-word, I can't say it on here, it rhymes with grape, R-worded, she, like, her soul was detached, right? And then Gerald brought her back to life. Half her soul went to the prison dimension, like her most powerful, her most fiery aspect of her soul. But one tiny spark of her soul remained, which is why she has amnesia, which is why she doesn't remember her past. Because the majority of her soul went to the prison dimension, which is basically like a man-made hell simulation. Right? So, when Brayden brings Willa back, and then Willa, after she died the first time, she was moved to West Virginia, where she was indoctrinated into the Jehovah's Witness Church. So she's a lot different than Willa was before the overdose, before the death. So at the end of the first book, when Willa dies and Raiden brings her back to life, Mina comes in her place, right? And there is a point in the book, towards the end, when Raiden says that he misses Mina and he wonders where she went. So in a way, although he's unhappy that she has returned in Willa's place, he's unhappy to be stuck with her. And the second book is definitely going to be enemies to lovers, because they're going to be at each other's throats for the first half of the book. He secretly is a little happy because he loved Willa when he first met her, but he was Mina, but she was too young. So he had to distance himself from her. He didn't talk to her for years, but he missed her. So, is it a happy ending? Is it a happy ending? Is it romantic enough for you? What do y'all think?